On this episode of Pimp My Setup, I'm going to be talking about your setups you submitted for tips, tricks, feedback, and much more. So if you're interested in that, then sit back, relax, and interact because the show starts now.
It's time for the original setup show dedicated to providing you with tips, tricks, and feedback to pimp out your setup. Hosted by Matt Philly with new special guests every week. Coming at you live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pimp My Setup, episode number 166, recorded live on December 13th, 2016. My name's Matt Philly. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Philly. Fun fact of the day, Tom has his mic set up. Say what up.
Yes, what's up, guys?
Yeah, so I finally splurged and bought a $13 cable so Tom could talk on the show. So I know that is something a lot of people...
It's a pressing issue.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about that, and it's here. It's good. So you might hear a very tad bit of echo if I scream, but other than that, it should sound pretty good, and we can get some input from Tom. If you want to send me your setup, pimpmysetup.com/Q is the place to go, and stay tuned for an awesome live stream that I've been talking about. I will look into it more and hopefully do it before Christmas. I think that would be ideal. And if you want to watch any of these episodes live, we're live on Twitch and YouTube all the time. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We're there at Twitch for the chat, and then YouTube you could watch, but there's no chat there because cancer. Okay, so anyways, let's get into the first set of the day, submitted by Liam, who's 16, and he's an aspiring entrepreneur, which means...
Aren't we all?
Yeah, aren't we all? Oh my god, Tom already hit him with the hard thoughts to think about. We're gonna see Liam probably on a Shark Tank episode coming soon, arguing with with Kevin about money and stuff. But anyways, take a look at this setup. I mean, first off, I just got to give him a round of applause for the monitors. I know that kind of sounds sarcastic, but wall mounting and trying to get them aligned and making them look slick like that is not easy. I know it's easy to sit in a chair with your MacBook Pro doing a show and telling people fix this, fix that. I'm making fun of myself, if you guys can tell. But really, when it comes to actually getting monitors aligned, if you've ever tried it, you know it's not easy at all. I mean, look at our monitors right here, Tom.
Yeah, they're not pretty.
Yeah, this monitor arm is like not good about that. So really hard to deal with that. Now, what's good about this setup is definitely like, his speakers aren't being blocked. I mean, kind of, but it's not like the end of the world. It's, they're there. They're breathing. They're getting the air out and reaching to his ears, which is nice. Now, everything else is pretty good in terms of what he's working with until we get to the underside of the desk, where I think, although it's nicely cable managed and things look good, the placement of the PC is going to be sort of an issue. Yes, you have a side panel. Yes, you have LEDs. Yes, you want to show it off. I get that. But I think when you're sitting there and it's all said and done, it's really in the way of your feet. And that becomes a problem with usability. Subwoofer, usually not an issue having it directly under your feet because people utilize it as a footrest, which is fine. I've done it before. I think it's not a problem at all. And it's nice. But the PC is not necessarily the same, and if you got some crusty ass feet, you're gonna be messing that case up. So I would definitely just rotate it, put it into the corner. You're still gonna be able to see it, and plus, how many times are you looking down? You're like, what's up, baby? So I don't know, Tom. Would you agree that would be in their way?
Yeah, that definitely needs to move to the wall. I don't know how long the wires are and all that because it looks kind of bundled, a little weird. It doesn't look.
We spent a lot of time.
You spent a lot of time, but I don't know how effective that cable management is just by the look of it.
It's he did it because all the ports are right there. He just like feeds his cable, wrap it up, put it into that, call it a day. But definitely need to move that. Everything else is cool though. You can see he's got the USB thing mounted to the underside of the desk as well. Really, it's clean. I think personality is another thing. We see like two things on the wall, one on the left, one on the right. Can't really tell what it is based on the photo, but you got to get a little bit more pop. I don't know if you're going for blue or you're going for orange. On the inside of the case, it looks like blue, and then, on the LEDs of the desk, it looks orange. So, oh my God, my freaking.
He has the same wallpaper as us on this triple monitor display. He has the same.
Oh, as us. Yeah. I was like, what are you? I'm like, yeah, he has a triple monitor. But yeah, no. So I think I almost like died there. People are like asking why. I think that it's interesting. It just needs that pop of color, kind of come up with a decision. And someone said that the monitors look like they're a little too high, but if you're sitting there, I actually think it's a perfect height.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, so not
I just
bad
have like
at all.
one little question. It looks like the mouse and keyboard look a little like too like far forward. I don't know if that's the angle of the photo making it look weird, but it seems like it's too far forward. It'd just be a little awkward having used the mouse and keyboard and then looking at the monitors. I feel like you'd be too close.
Yeah, well, they're wireless, so I guess maybe he pushes them around.
Yeah, but I'd move them back a little bit. You still have tons of room to work with that.
Yeah, and someone said an extended mouse mat would look great. I agree, especially because he has a white keyboard, so kind of make it pop a little bit more. Because right now it kind of blends in.
Either blue or orange or red. I don't know what color LED that is. It looks like red more than orange, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Regardless, though, I think it's a great setup. Let's go to the next one. Submitted by Devin, who's 15. He said that this setup is used for school.
I got a different name. I got Shachar.
Shachar. That is even okay. Well, the emails are out of whack. My bad.
Yeah.
So all the way down. That's literally like one of the last ones I have. Okay, Shachar is 16 and he likes a simple setup. So yeah, okay. So taking a look at this, this is definitely a simple setup. The further back photo makes it look a little bit more like he's got some stuff going on, but yet it's still well kept, maintained, looks good. And then the first photo, if you were to just see that, it has an office look to it, like a legitimate corporate office, and it's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a great setup. But if we're talking wow factor, the only wow I'm getting is, wow, that floor, man. Like, oh god, I don't know. But when I see the further back photo, the wow factor, it's not necessarily wow dropping my pants, but it's wow, like, that's cool. He's got like his cars on the shelf, and it seems to be a fake plant sort of garden, if you will, because he's got them all there on the desk, you know, all over the place. And you know, the canvas art, it's nice, just kind of a bit out of place in this setup. I don't necessarily see how that flows, and I'm not saying like you need to be a home decor person, but it's like it's so far up, and it kind of is like a crowded, lively photo, obviously, because of what it is. But it's like, that doesn't fit your setup because it's such a simple, you know, like the birds on the wall and the fake plants. It's like very quiet. It's gromos.
I just have one thing. Because of the shelving on the top, if you moved it down, you could tell how off-centered the canvas thing is to the desk or whatever. You can tell that it's overlapping, so it would be off to the left, so it just mess up. So I feel like having it up there.
No, the canvas.
I know the canvas art right here. It's off centered if you push it down more, and it's gonna look weird if it's closer to the setup.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Regardless, it just looks weird.
I mean, yeah, it looks weird regardless.
Yeah, it's out of place. It doesn't really make sense. And I think he would much rather benefit from something like even just a poster or more shelves. I'm not really a fan of when people put shelves like that in the corner anyway, because it's not a corner shelf.
Yeah.
You know, that's not how it's supposed to work. So he kind of hurt himself because not only, like you said, it overlaps the desk, it takes up space, but if he was to open up the door, like, he has to be careful what he puts on the other wall. So, yeah, it's weird. I definitely agree with that. And it's lacking a bit of, I mean, the color from the bird photo is cool, like, you know, a little bit of here, a little bit there. But it is very, like, it just kind of looks like the life was sucked out of it. Like, the color is all gone. I get you're going for simple. It doesn't mean you can't have a little bit of in it. But in terms of usability, everything like that, it's a great setup. So definitely keep that up. And I mean, if this is what you're going for, then you did it. But yeah, interesting. All right, let's go to the next setup submitted by Steven, who's 14. He likes playing games, if you couldn't tell. Obviously, he is an Overwatch fan. Man, I grinded that game so hard, and then I stopped, and I haven't played it in a long time. But man, that game is legit. So yeah, take a look at this setup. I mean, just breaking it down category by category. The usability is great. The overall wire management is pretty good. I mean, if you look under the desk, he's got all going through the Signum, and then the parts that come out are either going down the leg or they're shooting behind the Alex drawer. So it's great. The only cable we're seeing is coming from the light, which is, you know, it is what it is, kind of hard to work with, and then the headphones, but it's all wrapped up. I mean, there's no pretty way to do it unless you detach the cable, and we all know that's a pain in the ass. So I like it, and the subwoofer placement, all that's good. And then the actual setup itself, he's got the posters down, which is nice. If he had 3, it's one of those things, does he center it over the desk and drawers, or does he center it over the desk? And by having 4, it kind of just put that problem to rest. Like, he just puts them up and it looks good. It's centered over the whole thing. I really, really like it. And a lot of people are talking about the mouse pad. Yes, it needs to be flattened out. Just a
Put a textbook on that.
Yeah, you know, just a fat ass textbook. Lay that down and you'll be all set and ready to go. But yeah, it's one monitor, but that's what he's going for. You know, this is his setup. And this is a great example of a simple yet very effective, and just like I said, all the categories, amazing job. I love that wall color. I'm a bit biased because it's like almost the same one I have in my bedroom, but I really like it. If this was your setup though, Tom, what are you changing? What are you adding?
Maybe a new monitor. I mean, I don't know how
Bigger is better.
Yeah, bigger is better, but I don't know if he's playing games on that. If he wants like a better hertz, I don't know how that works with
refresh
hertz.
rate.
Yeah, refresh rate and all that stuff. I don't know if that monitor does the job or not, but I'd do a new monitor. But that's really, the setup is great. Like, there's really nothing wrong with it. There's nothing major I would change.
Yeah, like I have an ultra wide when I play Overwatch. It does the job, but when you get into a certain level of gaming, you care about that refresh rate. You care about all those different gaming related specs. So yeah, everyone's saying ultra wide, but who knows? He might go for like a BenQ of sorts, and really utilize his competitive side. But I love it. I don't think there's really much to say about it. Great job. And he was actually like kind of worried. He's like, you can bash me, whatever, man. Like, it's my setup.
There's
like
plenty of bad setups, and
yeah,
this one's
like,
not one.
Especially in this episode, and especially this next one, submitted by Smythers, which reminds me of like Simpsons. But
Yeah.
Smythers here is 16. Now, so okay, here's the story. I like what you're going for, but you're not there. Okay, take the snipe. I joke up. Take the snowboard and get out of here. Anyways, damn it, it's not even funny anymore.
Just like rolling across the floor.
So okay, the case is great. I had that case. I gave it to my dad. Love it. Best placement for it? Not quite. But I think if you were to kind of rearrange, you could still put it there. I mean, it scares me because the Alex drawer is half on the desk, half not. So I don't know. It's just weird. I know it's not the end of the world. It just looks weird, especially with what you're doing with 3 monitors terribly put into the corner.
God, look at that mouse pad.
Yeah, that like
just look at it.
Yeah, that's something. That's something. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but goddamn, did you even think about the desk? Would it be the right size? Would it be the right depth? Would it fit all your monitors? Obviously, you didn't think about it. You didn't. And, you're going to have to make a trip back to IKEA. If you want to stay with the more affordable things, then you're going to have to go for the IKEA Linmon corner desk, which is great. It's really deep, and it'll fit everything perfectly. And then you can put the computer on the underside. You could still use the IKEA Alex drawers as one of the sides to it. You could put it off to the right next to the desk and even have the PC there. But what you're doing right now is not going to work. The monitors, they're just completely not usable. They're too low, it looks like. They're just overall not gonna work. And it affects your cable management. We could see that. And it's just... the cable management also is another thing I just sadly don't understand. You put so much work into getting the cables set up. If you look, they're set up to be managed, and then you just let it look like that. I don't get it. You're 16. You shouldn't be that dumb. I mean, and I don't mean to be offensive, but really, you put all that time into getting the cables where they need to be fed to, and kind of like slightly Velcro together. Now tighten it up. If they were tightened up, your cable management would be a great score, and then it would really help your overall score. But between the complete usability and the underside, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. So the way I see it is some changes definitely need to be made. And like the snowboard, simple yet effective. Sure, it works for a theme. I would like to see a little bit more to that as well. And then also, it's funny, like the snowball's green.
No, that's so weird.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
It would
one.
be understandable if his setup was like green themed, but it just makes no sense that it's green.
Yeah.
It just So weird.
You know what's weird? The curtains. I'm not a big fan of how they just lay on top of the desk. If they were a little bit longer, at least it would be like pushed behind. But I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. It's not awful. You have everything you need. You just got to do it the right way. And sometimes that means sacrificing your beautiful triple monitor setup. But anyways, let's go to the next setup submitted by Devin. This is finally Devin, who is 15 and uses it for school and gaming. Now this one, you know, things here and there that I'm not a fan of, but overall I would say it's not awful. You know, really, I get it. You use it for school, so the right side is empty. Maybe get like they have like those nice leather, full leather desk pads, you know, that all the office guys use, and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write up a freaking contract on this. That would look cool and kind of fill up a little bit of that space and kind of give it a nice look to it. But if not, get like one of those desk organizer caddy things that you could put, you know, different things you need into it. I think that would look really, really nice. Just something little things to just put there and kind of give it a little bit of life. The actual usability of the setup, though, I think is it's half and half. It depends on who you are and your workflow. But what do you think about that, Tom? Does it look usable?
I mean, everything's usable, but this is not the most ideal situation. I mean, the keyboard, I'd never use the keyboard tray, but the thing is, if you put it on top where your laptop and your monitor is, it just wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand that point. And I guess because you're running off the monitor off the laptop, it's the best situation you're going to get for now until you get a computer or something like that.
Yeah, because it is like a dual monitor setup, except the one monitor has a keyboard attached to it. Yeah. But it's true. I mean, the desk is not deep enough to really not utilize the keyboard tray. I hate keyboard trays, and I'll say that until I die. But at this point, I mean, I'll say it again. The mouse is over here, and the keyboard's down here. I just don't like that. That's just not usable. Anyways, I digress. So, you know, I don't know, maybe if you could get away with just using a single monitor, putting the laptop into the corner side over there, and then at least having a better sort of breathing room, more usability. But if you really need those dual displays, then I guess that's how it works. And then really just the overall placement of things on the wall, like, okay, you know, it is what it is. It's a good starting point, Devin. I think it's not, like I said, it's not the end of the world, but it's also not the best thing to ever happen. So, not bad at all. So, what are you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the next setup, though, submitted by Emily. Now, okay, here's the thing. Emily, she's 11. All right, so everyone just take a step back and just don't be a douche. Okay, so she uses this desk for gaming and school. And if you do some magic looking at this photo and you put your hands up to your screen and you cover everything except the desk setup, it's a pretty good setup. It is not a bad setup. It's actually a pretty good setup. But Legos. And it's okay, here's the thing. Easy fix. You buy yourself like a $30 fold out table and you just build on that. And then you have that on each corner or whatever, and you're all good. But right now, this is actually not safe because you step on a damn Lego and you're done. Because that shit hurts. The other thing is cable management kind of brutally just destroyed your score because that. God, can you imagine in the middle of the night walking out there and accidentally stepping on a Lego? Like,
that's why she has in the corner, though. You don't do that. It's like you're never going to step over there unless you're going to be playing with the Legos.
You know, a lot of people are saying they need to get, she needs to get a new desk. You know, the pastel baby colors, I think, are just next level. Big fan. But really, I mean,
it's not a bad desk, though.
Yeah, and the drawer handles are little flowers, so everyone could step off. But yeah, I think like the usability part of it is nice, so I don't think the desk needs to be changed. She has enough breathing room. It seems to be pretty good. Her mic arm's there, which, by the way, she has a nice mic setup, which is cool. And really, you know, headphone stand, yeah, I would do that. And, you know, you got to condense. You got to clean up the wires. You need to kind of figure out a solution for the Legos. But other than that, she's 11 years old. She's got dual displays, an awesome audio setup, great peripherals, and overall, like, the desk is perfect for her.
Yeah, it's got footrests inside. I mean, come on, let's be real.
That's nice.
That's legit.
And she's using a primary display, and she has a secondary, which is nice. So she's not trying to sit in the middle.
And she's got blueberries, too.
Yeah. Oh my God, she's got blueberries. That's her new nickname. Anyways, great. I like it. Let's go to the next setup submitted by Lewis. Now, Lewis here is 16. Don't know much about him. He's from Scotland, blah, blah, blah. But this is sort of one of those setups where you're kind of working with tight space. I think that's easy to say. You got the ceilings that are kind of arched, and you're kind of working up against a staircase. So what do? How do you make it work? Well, here's a great example. He did a wonderful job. It's hard to make the speakers work, especially because he has the Xbox there. So, kind of putting them on their side, it's not really the best solution. So is it the end of the world? No, I think considering his desk space and total utilization, he did a wonderful job. So good job with that. And I think it's almost like this desk was built for this corner. It's almost like the spot for the PC was, perfect. It was like, this is what you need to use this setup. And he really took it and did it. Now, I don't know about you guys, but his photos look a little bit weird. I'm not a big fan of what he's going on, like what he's doing there. Not just kidding. He had to blur him out because he had like friends and family and stuff. So I just thought it was funny. It was like old, like,
yeah, I thought that was. I'm like, that's a little creative and like imagine.
Yeah, it's
like,
creative. It's like next level. But yeah, I mean, taking a look at that part, it's cool. He's got 3 photos. What else can he do for personality, guys? Let me know in the chat. I mean, there are things he could do, but is it worth it? I think overall he did a pretty good job. The extended mouse pad is not so extended. So I would definitely work on that too, because for me, I think that it's like, how do you comfortably use that? The mouse, you got to move it. You have no room. So that part of it is a little bit depressing. But he does have a lot of storage. He has his LED remote to the nice side of the desk. So that's perfect. I mean, it's a great setup. And, not bad at all. I think it's pretty good. And people are saying, oh my God, multiple people are saying, turn on LEDs. Oh my God.
It's daytime.
These are the people that if I had them as co-hosts, they would take off. You really need to get LEDs, even though you have an LED remote there, which totally means you have LEDs. I'm going to take points off for that. But yeah, I mean, people are saying, pop vinyls, blah, blah, blah. More Lego people. Yeah, he does have Lego people.
But I feel like having too much on the desk then would override the whole, like, simplistic look, because it would just look way too cramped.
It's true.
Maybe like 1 or 2 things.
That's why I think he did a great job.
With the space allocated, he used it perfectly.
Yeah, and you know what? If he falls down the stairs, he falls down the stairs. So.
He's playing, oh no, and it falls off over the banister.
He gets mad, so he like kicks down the rail and falls down.
I could see that.
But yeah, I like it. Great job. Now let's go to the next setup submitted by, well, I don't actually know his name, but he goes by ThinkTank TV PH for Philippines, and he is 33. So here's the thing. He recently started a new printing and photo lab business in the Philippines, and this is his setup at home. The purpose for it is to be productivity based. He uses it for photography editing, video editing, and even some light gaming, as you can see at the entertainment setup that he's got set up. So this is super cool. This is his home office. It's not even at work. It's just where he chills at home. So knowing that makes it really, really nice. If you look at the second photo, his cable management is top tier, next level, absolutely amazing. Just the attention to detail and the overall time that would have taken to do is just insane. So huge props to him. And you can tell too, he's working in a very tight area. This is not the biggest place ever. And I think he made it seem roomy. I don't think it feels like too much. The only part of it that does make it feel like that is the under part of the desk. I don't know exactly what that is on the left side. It's like a
cooler. Like a footrest, or like something probably has storage inside, but it's also a footrest.
Yeah, that part of it kind of makes it look not as open and free. And then what is this, like a printer? No, that's like a
I think it's a printer.
It's got USB ports and whatever. Those two sides, subwoofer obviously I understand, but the other 2 things kind of make it look a little bit more cluttered. It's not necessarily cluttered, that's not the right word. It's just kind of like it could be somewhere else and make it look a little bit more open. The actual desktop itself, usability seems to be pretty good. It does also kind of look like there's a lot going on there, but really it's just 3 pop vinyls, mouse charging, and then he's got the mouses also in the middle. The speakers are a bit blocked. you know, that's one thing I would say. And he's got the GoPro and stuff. So it's like little knickknacks here and there that if he did have storage under the desk instead of those other things, he could at least have them somewhere else so it looks a little more free and open. But I think, you know, speakers are definitely one of the things that I'd be a little bit more worried about making work. Now, to actually get personality into that corner, if you look in this photo and zoom in to the corner, you can see he's got the shelves up, which is cool because, like I said, it's a tight spot. Doesn't have a lot of room to actually get this done. You know, where are you going to put all your stuff? So I think it's an interesting attempt, and I like it. I think it looks pretty damn good. It looks like he has an awesome view, which is probably nice to work at and just look out there and see all the city lights. And I get like all creepy, like, oh. But you know, that setup is really it's nice, and he's got the Throw Boy subscribe pillow. I got one right here actually. But yeah, I think the setup itself is nice. The headphone hanger is really good. Not bad at all. I really like it. Now the thing with the rest of the room, it looks pretty good. I mean, the TV looks a little high, but I would assume that he thought that out and it works for his size. And he's got, like, you know, the wiki wah wah DJ equipment and like a lot of cool stuff. Really an awesome room. The LEDs are a huge part of this because I feel like without that, it would look pretty bland. So I give him props there for flowing that through the room. Really awesome place overall. And yeah, and someone said he should go for white shelves. I think it's actually better with black. I know, especially at nighttime, it blends in, but it's not always that dark. You know?
Need contrast.
Yeah.
I mean, the desk is black, I understand, but that's probably why it matches the shelves.
Yeah, and you want to contrast off the wall, like you were saying. Like, you don't want white. That's, you know, not ideal. So, anyways, let's go to the final set of the day, submitted by Aidan, who's 15. He loves to play video games, and this is his setup. So I thought at first glance, like, okay, all right, sure. I mean, all right. It's, I mean, I think that the soundproofing was a little weird. I'm a fan. First off, it looks like he put nails through it, which not really ideal. Kind of scrunches it up and you see circles all over. But I felt like that's a bad place for it, especially because he has a lot of cool things that could have went above his setup. And instead he forced them off to the side and kind of killed what he was going for. And what I mean by that is in the first photo, you know, the hats, those snapbacks could have went above. The Flash and Superman poster and the shelves could have went above. It could have been like a nice arrangement and looked really nice. So I think as much as I like soundproofing, it doesn't work here. It could have been in another spot of your room. Like, for instance, in the next photo, it could have went above that TV and, you know, a little bit above, a little bit below, just kind of spread it out a little bit nicer. Would have been nice. Now, he's a Jets fan, so really I should just stop right here and not care.
Well, I feel bad for him, okay?
Well, this season they need a pat on the back and probably a kick in the throat, but that's just for fun. Yeah, it's okay, buddy. Bam, bitch. Anyways, I will give him props. So if you go to the next photo, the cable management, great job.
Without a signum, I mean.
Without a signum, yeah. The one thing I would recommend, if you have the cable clips, just take that big portion that's sagging like your mom's bezels and just right up to the desk. That way, you know, the smiley face is no longer happy. So I think that would be nice. Now, here's the other thing that I know. Actually, someone just talked about it. They just said, "Why are there two mics?" That's a great question. The reason behind that is the actual mic, the Yeti. This guy. Okay, first off, the Yeti is just for what he's doing, streaming, he's doing whatever. And then he's got a snowball. Is this guy like Blue Ball fans? I mean, God. The snowball, though, he said he uses it with his PS4. I didn't know you could do that. I don't really use PS4. But he uses that for his friends and stuff. But then when he's streaming, he uses the other mic. So, Okay. Now, the other thing is he's using a primary display and a secondary display. The problem with that is it does mess up the speaker placement. Not the end of the world, but it is something I always just kind of nod at. Like, you know what I'm saying? Diggity, diggity, dog. And then, yeah, he's got all his controllers and stuff like that. You could get a controller dock. That would look really, really nice, especially because in the third photo, you could see on the floor, on the bottom right side, he's got games galore. I would definitely come up with a storage solution, whether you get the Alex drawers or whatever. You need to kind of hide some of that stuff. You can have whatever you like. Yeah, what the anyways, so I think the other thing is the TV to the side. Not a huge fan. I think it kind of defeats the purpose of your whole setup, because you are going for sort of like a streamer setup, and like that's the idea of the microphone stuff, but you can't even utilize your computer while playing because you're looking this way and your computer and stuff's over there. So yeah, sure, the microphone's fine, but the idea of being able to read chat and all that kind of gets lost. So why not put the TV above the freaking the monitors? You know, come up with a better overall placement of things. I just think the soundproofing is not working. Just kind of my thoughts, but let me know your thoughts down below in the comments for this setup and all the setups that were here today. But now it's part of the show where we give the score. So let's get right into the scores. First set of the day submitted by Liam got a 74, Shachar with an 88, Steven with a 94, Smythers with the 68, Devin with a 72, Emily with a 56, Lewis with an 86, ThinkTank with a 94, and Aidan with an 82. Now, it's really not hard to get your scores up. I gave you some real easy ways to do so, but I do have one problem with today's episode, Tom.
Yes.
There is a tie. And I kind of do this, one, because I don't want people to hate me, and two, it's fun just to see what you guys have to say in the comments. But now that Tom's got a mic, he's got to choose between Mr. ThinkTank, which is the complete blown out studio setup thing he's got going on here, or he's got to choose between Steven, which Steven is the guy rocking the simplicity with Overwatch. Great setup, definitely two different setups. And I think, and I hate to say this, if I had to choose, I would go for Steven.
Really now?
Yes, because the only reason I say that is because I think he did a better job with each category overall. Because if you look, it just the usability, the outside out of mind, the theme, everything is just mwah. And I do think with ThinkTank setup, there are things that can still be fixed and added, like speakers. He's got to fix that, and like the overall, there are things to fix. The underside of the desk, blah blah blah. So, what do you think, Tom?
See, now I'm gonna go with ThinkTank just because I like the whole room. The whole room has a lot more to look at. It's more pleasing to the eye, in my opinion. Like the LEDs and all that.
Well, yeah, the whole room is sexual.
The whole room does it for me. I mean, the Steven setup is great. Yeah, category by category, break it down. It's a great setup, but I gotta choose ThinkTank.
All right, well, this is Tom's last episode of the ever. No,
but you guys in the chat, you guys in the comments, give your opinions.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think down below in the comments, the chat, whatever. Again, I do think ThinkTanks is awesome, and for his home office, he said he only started to get into this stuff 4 months ago. Really,
and that's another reason why I should win.
Well, you didn't know that, so shut up, Tom. We don't like you.
This is great.
Don't worry, Steven. Heart. No, okay, that's weird. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching this episode 166, recorded live on December 13, 2016. Oh my God, it's almost Christmas. Where did time go? Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the flippity.